show you another fun, fast card. This is a one-layer card. We're just going to use one piece of Whisper White because sometimes all we have time for is a really quick card. We are going to use Happiness Shared, and you guessed it, this is another stamp set that's retiring at the end of this month, and it's another one of my personal favorites, and I'm going to be sad to see go. I've used this image for Rose, but I also think it kind of looks a little bit like a pink dogwood for me too, and I think that's why I love it as well. It's one of my favorite trees. And we are going to use these Stampin' Pastels, our clear block, because if you're not familiar with our clear stamps, they're the same rubber that is on our wood blocks. Yes, it's well loved. No, it's not clean. But anyways, all you're going to do is, I've got these little grit pieces that you can order from Stampin' Up! And I like it if I'm using alphabets because I can line up my letters perfectly. So you just hold that down for a minute. If it's not sticking onto your block, it's because this is really dirty, a lot of oils on it, and so you would just clean that with some hand sanitizer, the waterless kind, and that tends to take off any oil residue. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up our Stampin' Pastels. We are going to stamp with our black StazOn. So I'm just going to ink that up really, really, really well. The StazOn is a permanent ink, hence the name StazOn. It's going to stay on. And you can use this on anything that's porous. You can use it on plastic, on wood, tin, all kinds of things. So I'm actually just going to stamp this down here a little bit. Ooh, pretty. Pretend I cleaned that, just like normal. And then I'm going to take the pretty expression, which is happiness held is the seed and happiness shared is the flower. So you can see how I can line that up with my grid. Hold that down for a minute. Okay, now I'm going to ink that up as well. Okay. I'm going to stamp that onto my card. Okay, now the fun part, now the coloring. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that you get little little applicators for using the chalks. And I prefer using just plain old Q-tips. And if you want to know the exact color, that's all written on the top of the case, but I always just eyeball it. So I'm going to start with my lightest color. I'm going to start with the light pink, and I'm just going to go right in. And the beautiful thing about the chalks is they're really forgiving. They're very quick. They come with an eraser as well. So if you've got color outside of the line that you don't want, then the eraser will take that right out. I'm just going over top, sort of where these lines are, where the shading would be, with a darker pink. Blow away that excess there. And now I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to go into my green, and I'm going to do the leaves. And I think we'll go into the brown and do brown on the inside. Okay. And for fun of it, actually I'm going to do a bit of yellow in there too. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our blender pens. Now the blender pens come 3 in a package. They're exactly the same on both ends, so it's like you're getting 6 pens. And these are like magic little pens. You can use them with your ink pads, and if you squeeze your ink pad and you get some ink on the lid, you can take this right in and use it like a marker. But you can also use this right inside our chalks. So I'm going to go into the exact same pink that I started with. See how much darker that is? And to clean it, you go back and forth on your paper. So you want to clean it before you go into your next color. Back and forth until it comes out clean. Then I'm going to go into that darker pink that I went in, and I'm just going to start highlighting a little bit, and I'm just following where these little black lines are. And I'm going to kind of go on the outside a bit. And you can work that in until you get it the way you like it. It's very relaxing, very fun to do this. And I did put some yellow in there, so I'm going to go in with my yellow. I'm sure there's pink and yellow roses, right? And I did a little bit of brown in the center. I just want to make the outside just a little bit darker. So you see, you can keep playing with it until you're happy with how it's looking. Just keep going into your colors. Just remember, you always want to work with your light colors and then go in with your dark. Because you can add color, but you can't take color away. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to go into the same green that I went into to start with. Oops. And darken up my green a bit. Clean that off, and then I'm going to go into my brown for the stem. Clean that off in a second. And there you go. That's pretty much the extent of it. Another thing I like to do too, just to add a little bit of dimension, is I'm going to take my Bashful Blue, I'm going to squeeze so I get color at the top of the lid. Make sure my blending pen is clean. And I'm just going to go around the outside. And this creates a shadow. And it just really does make a difference. It adds dimension. It's very, very fast. You can use a light gray as long as you're using a light color. And then that's it. Pretty, pretty, pretty. The chalks are excellent to use this way for quick coloring, and then you can just add some dazzling diamonds if you want at the end. There you go. I see I've got some color where I don't want it, so I will just fix that. I will cut that and put a little bit of trim on top, and you will never know. So anyways, there you go. Remember, you can't make mistakes when you're stamping. Have fun. Happy stamping.